The testament of Joseph, made to his children at his death, concerning chastity and patience. My sons and my brethren, hear ye Joseph the well-beloved of Israel. My children, hear your father. I have known in my life envy and death, with the which my brethren would have destroyed me, for they hated me, and Jehovah loved me. They would have killed me, and the God of my fathers kept me. They put me into a pit, and the Most High brought me out again. I was sold as a bondman, and the Lord made me free, and his strong hand helped me. I was kept in hunger, and the Lord himself nourished me. I was left alone, and the Lord visited me. I was in prison, and the Savior made me glad. I was fastened in chains, and the Lord unbound me. He pleaded my cause in the accusations of the Egyptians, and not only delivered me from envy and deceit, but also exalted me, insomuch that Potiphar, chief steward of Pharaoh's house, did lend me lodging, where I was in jeopardy of my life, by reason of a shameless woman, which enticed me to do naughtiness with her, through the flame of voluptuousness burning about her breast. I was cast in prison for her. I was beaten and mocked for her. Yet the Lord caused the keeper of the prison to be moved with mercy towards me. He forsaketh not them that fear him, neither in darkness, neither in bonds, neither in tribulations or necessities. God is not ashamed as men, neither dreadeth he as men, neither speaketh or shrinketh he for fear as earthly men. He is present in all places, and in their most grievous sorrows he comforteth his. He goeth away for a season to try the thoughts of their mind. He found me trusty in 10 temptations, and in every one I was constant and preserved, for sufferance is a great medicine and causeth much goodness. How often did the Egyptian threaten my death? How often was I punished, and yet the woman called me again? How often did she threaten me to die because I would not have to do with her? She said unto me, Thou shalt have governance of me, and all that be mine, if thou wilt give thyself unto me, and obey my desire, and thou shalt be lord over us. But I remembered the words of my father Jacob, and entering into my chamber, made my prayer to the Lord, and fasted 7 days. Yet I appeared unto the Egyptian in the selfsame estate of body, as if I had lived in pleasures and delights. For they that fast for Jehovah receive beauty of face. When I had wine given unto me, I drank none, and fasting 3 days, I took my meat daily, and gave it to sick and needy. And early I awaked unto the Lord, and wept for Memphitica the Egyptian, because she was evermore troubling of me. She came unto me in the night, as though she would have visited me, and first truly, because she had never a son, until which time she feigned to take me as her son. And I prayed to Jehovah to send her a son, until which time she embraced me, as though I had been her son, and I perceived not the cause. And for a conclusion she drew me to have done fornication with her, and I remembering myself was sorrowful to the death. And when she was gone out, I came to myself and sorrowed many days, for I perceived her deceit and error. And I spake unto her the words of the Most High God, if peradventure she might be turned away from her pernicious concupiscence. Many times, as to a holy man, she spake flattering words to me, not without deceit, lauding my chastity before her husband, which would utterly have destroyed me both manifestly and secretly. She said unto me, Fear not my husband, for he is persuaded of thy chastity. For if so be that any man showed him of thee and me, he would not believe it. For because of this thing, I covered me with sackcloth, and laid me flat upon the earth, and prayed unto Almighty Jehovah, that he would deliver me from this woman of Egypt. When she could do nothing this way, she came unto me again armed with other reasons. That is to say, that she would fain learn the word of Jehovah of me, and began to speak after this manner, If thou wilt have me to forsake mine idols, follow my desire, and I will persuade my husband the Egyptian to go from his idolatry, and we shall walk in the law of Jehovah. I made answer to these things, Jehovah will have none to worship him with uncleanness, neither hath he any pleasure in adulterers. And she held her peace, desiring to fulfill her concupiscence. And I fasted and prayed that Jehovah might deliver me from her. Again at another time she said unto me, If thou wilt not do adultery with me, I will kill my prince, and so by the law I shall take thee to my husband. When I heard that, I rent my garment, and said, Woman, I pray thee, be ashamed of these things before Jehovah, and fear Jehovah, and do thou not such an abominable thing, neither despair utterly, that thou drown not thyself in thine own evil. For if thou go about, I shall utter and declare the thoughts of thine iniquity. She, fearing these things, prayed me that I would not bewray her naughtiness, and so departed. Yea, again, she went about to beguile me with gifts, sending unto me all things that men have need of. And she sent me meat stewed about with enchantment. And as the eunuch brought it in, I beheld and saw a terrible fellow giving me a sword with the dish. And I perceived that she went about to deceive me. And when he was gone, I wept, and touched not that meat, nor any other of her sending, for good while after. A day after that she came to me and said, What is the matter that thou hast not eaten of the meat? And I said unto her, Because thou hast poisoned it. Therefore thou shalt know that I will not come unto idols, but only unto Jehovah. Now understand therefore that the God of my father, by his angel, hath showed thy mischief unto me, and I have kept the meat to thy shame, if perchance thou mightest repent, or learn that the malice of wicked doers prevaileth not against them that worship the Lord in chastity. And I took and did eat before her, saying, The God of my fathers, and the angel of Abraham shall be with me. And then she fell down at my feet and wept. Then lifting her up, I exhort her many ways, and she promised unto me that she would never do such iniquity after that day. Yet because her heart was mourning, and did burn towards me in adultery, with sighs coming from the depth of her stomach, she cast down her countenance. The Egyptian her husband perceiving her said, Wherefore holdest thou down thy face? She answered, I am even sorrowful at the heart. And he comforted her that was not sick. Yet again she entered into me, her husband being without, and said, I am strangled or choked. Either I will break my neck, or else drown myself, without thou wilt obey me. And perceiving that the spirit of Belial troubled and vexed her, I prayed unto the Lord my God Jehovah, and said thus, Wherefore art thou vexed and troubled, all blind in sin? Remember thyself, for if thou do kill thyself, the concubine of thy husband called Second, envying thee, shall beat thy children, and destroy the memory of thee from off the earth. And she said unto me, Have done, have done. I perceive that yet thou hast some care for me. I have even enough that thou defendest my life and my children's. I have good hope in time to come that I shall obtain my wished desire. And she perceived not that for the love of my Lord God Jehovah I said so, and not for her sake. Whatsoever he be that followeth the concupiscence of his most filthy and pernicious desire, is made servant unto the same as this woman was. And if he hear any good thing in the passion wherein he is overcome, he draweth the same to his pernicious or filthy desire. I say unto you, my sons, that it was about 6 of the clock when she went from me, and I fell upon my knees, praying to Jehovah all that day, with the night following, and about the break of the day I rose weeping, that I might once be delivered from this Egyptian woman. Finally, she caught me fast by the garment, drawing me to have gone to bed with her. Then perceiving that she waxed mad, and that violently, and with strength she held my clothes, I let my clothes slip from me, and fled away. Then she complained to her husband of me, which put me in prison in the king's house. The day following after I was sore beaten and cast in prison. And when I lay bound in fetters, this Egyptian woman waxed sick for sorrow, and hearkened how I lauded God, being in a house of darkness. For I, rejoicing with a glad voice, glorified my God Jehovah, only that by such occasion I was delivered from the Egyptian woman. Yet she left not to stand hearkening, and said, Have done and take the offer which I put unto thee, and fulfill my desire, and I will deliver thee from thy bond, and bring thee out from the darkness. But all that could persuade me nothing, insomuch that in thought I was not inclined to any desire of her. For Jehovah loveth him better which fasteth in chastity, being in a prison of darkness. than him which taketh his pleasure with voluptuousness in a chamber of honor and riches. For if a man live in chastity and desire glory, if Jehovah perceive it to be expedient for him, he giveth it unto him as he hath done unto me. Many times, as though she had been sick, she descended unto me unlooked for, and heard the voice of my praying, and stood the more still. But when I heard her sigh, I held my peace, for in her house she stripped herself naked, breasts, legs, and arms, whereby she might have kindled me into the love of her, for she was very fair, and gloriously adorned to have deceived me. But Jehovah kept me from her works. Therefore, my sons, behold what sufferance with prayer and fasting doth. And therefore, if you love soberness and chastity and sufferance and humility of the heart, the Lord shall dwell in you. For he loveth sobriety, and when the Most High doth dwell in a man, although he chance to fall into envy or into bondage or slander, the Lord which dwelleth in him will for his chastity not only deliver him, but also exalt him and glorify him as he hath done me. For he is always with him, in word, in deed, and thought. My children, ye know well how my father did love me, and yet I was never the prouder thereof in my heart. For as a child, I had ever the fear though was of Jehovah in my mind. When I grew unto age, I moderated myself and honored my brethren whom I feared. I held my peace when I was sold, because I would not have the Ishmaelites to know my stock and kindred, how I was the son of Jacob, a man of great strength and power. Therefore, have you in your deeds the fear of Jehovah, and honor your brethren, for all men that observe the law of Jehovah are loved of him. Then I came with the Ishmaelites to a certain place called Indoclep, and they demanded of me what I was. And I said, because I would not reprove my brethren, that I was one of their household slaves. Then said the chief of them, Thou art no slave, for thy countenance doth show thee what thou art. And he threatened me unto the death. Yet for all that, I said again, I was their slave. But when we came into Egypt, they began to strive who should have me for money that was paid. And they agreed that I should abide in Egypt with a merchant of their faculty, until such time as they had made their merchandise and returned again. And Jehovah gave me grace in the sight of the merchant, that he gave me the charge of his house, and the Lord blessed him by my hand. For the Lord gave him plenty of gold and silver, and I was with him 3 months and 5 days. In this time passed by Memphitica, the wife of Potiphar, in great glory, and she cast her eyes upon me, for the eunuchs had showed her of me. And she showed her husband of the merchant which was made rich by the hand of a young man, being an Hebrew. And she said, They had stolen him out of the land of Canaan. Therefore do now judgment upon him, and take the young man to be your steward, and the God of the Hebrews shall bless you, for grace from heaven is in him. Potiphar her husband, persuaded with these words, caused the merchant to be sent for, and said unto him, What do I hear of thee that stealest souls out of the land of the Hebrews in selling of children? The merchant fell down upon his knees and prayed him, saying, I beseech thee, Lord, show me, for I know not what thou sayest. He answered again, Where gatest thou this Hebrew child? And he said, The Ishmaelites left him with me until they came this way again. When he had said so, Potiphar said, Bring the young man hither. And I, being brought in, did reverence to the prince of the eunuchs, for he was the third man in dignity with Pharaoh, and prince of all the eunuchs. And he had wife, children, and concubines. And when he had taken me apart, he said, Art thou bond, or art thou free? I answered, Bond. And he said unto me, Whose bondman art thou? I answered him, The Ishmaelites. And he said again unto me, How came it to pass that thou wast made their bondman? And I said, For they bought me in the land of Canaan. Yet he did not believe me, saying, Truly thou liest, and commanded me to be beaten. Memphitica his wife spied me beaten at a window, and sent unto her husband, saying, Thy judgment is unjust, for thou dost punish wrongfully the young man that is stolen. But because I changed not my word, yet again was I beaten, and commanded to be kept at his commandment, till such time as my masters came, And his wife said unto him, Wherefore do ye keep in captivity the noble child? It were more arms to let him go, and to beat you. She would fain have spied me in desire of sin, and I knew nothing of this. He said again to Memphitica, It is not honest among the Egyptians to take away another man's goods before he show him of it. He said that of the merchant, and of me, when I should be imprisoned. After that 24 days the Ishmaelites came, and they hearing that Jacob my father was heavy for me, said unto me, Wherefore is it that thou saidst thou was a bondman? And now we know that thou art the son of a great man in the land of Canaan, and thy father sorroweth for thee in sackcloth. Then I would fain have wept, yet I restrained myself for shaming of my brethren, and said, I know it not, for I am a bondman. Then they took counsel amongst themselves, whether or to whom they might sell me, lest I should be found in their hands. For they feared Jacob, lest he should be revenged on them, for they had heard that he was mighty, both to God and man. Then said the merchant to them, Redeem him now from the judgment of Potiphar. They, hearing this, went and asked for me, saying that they had bought me for money, and he delivered me. Memphitica spoke unto her husband to buy me, for she said, I hear say they would sell him. And they sent an eunuch to the Ishmaelites, and desired to buy me. And when he could not bargain with them, he returned and showed his lady that they asked a great price for the child. She sent again another eunuch, saying, Although they ask 2 basences of gold, see that thou spare not for money, but buy the child and bring him to me. He paid 80 golden crowns for me, and said to his lady that he paid 100. And I, perceiving this, held my peace, lest the eunuch should have been searched. Behold, my sons, what I have sustained. Love one of you another, and with continuance. Cast out from among you deceitful minds. For Jehovah delighteth in the concord of brethren, and has pleasure also in the love and choice of approved heart. When my brothers came out of Egypt and knew me, I gave unto them their money, and never gave reproach unto them, but comforted them. After the death of Jacob, I loved them more abundantly, and all that he commanded me, I did very gladly. They marveled because I suffered not them to be troubled for a small cause, for all that was in my power I gave them. Their children were reputed to me as mine own, and mine own children as their servants. Their life was my life, their sorrow was my sorrow, and all their infirmity or disease was mine. My land was their land, my counsel was the counsel of them, and I never exalted myself above them in pride for mine own worldly glory, but was amongst them as one of the least. Therefore, my sons, if you walk in the commandments of the Hyrcane, Lord shall exalt you, and bless you in riches perpetual. And if any man will do evil to you, with meekness look that ye pray for him, and Jehovah shall deliver you from all evil. For behold and see that for my long sufferance the daughter of my Lord was given to me as wife, and there was given to me with her 100 talents of gold. For Jehovah made them to serve me, and gave me beauty that I should be as a flower above them that were in Israel. And he kept me unto mine age, both in strength and beauty, because I was like to Jacob in all things. And what dreams I have seen, my children, now hear. There were 12 hearts feeding, and 9 were divided abroad in the earth. Also I saw how that Judah was a virgin born, having a white silken robe, and of her came forth an immaculate lamb, and on the left hand of the said lamb was as it were a lion. And all these beasts made against him, and a lamb overcame them, and trod them under his feet, and in him joyed the angels, the men, and all the earth. These things shall come to pass in their time, that is to say, in the latter days. Therefore, my sons, keep the commandment of the Lord, and honor Judah and Levi. For of them to you shall spring the Lamb of Jehovah, which by his grace shall preserve all Gentiles and Israel. The kingdom of him is a kingdom eternal, which shall never pass. For my kingdom shall be ended in you, as the keeping of an orchard. For after the harvest it shall appear no more. I know right well that after my death the Egyptians shall trouble you, but Jehovah shall revenge you, and bring you to the promised land, which he swore to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But carry my bones with you, for in so doing The Lord shall be in the light with you against the Egyptians, and Belial shall be in darkness with the Egyptians. Also, carry with you your mother Zilpah, and bury her nigh unto the valley, near unto Rachel. Bury her. When he had said these words, he stretched forth his feet and slept the sleep of all the world. Then they embalmed him with spices, putting him in a chest in Egypt, after he had lived 110 years, who saw Ephraim's children unto the third generation. For unto Machir the son of Manasseh were children born on Joseph's knees. After this all they of Israel bewailed him, and all the Egyptians with a great mourning. For he had compassion of Egypt, as of his own proper members, and assisted them both with his labor and counsel, and did them good at all times and seasons. The testament of Benjamin, made to his children at his death concerning a clean mind. The copy of Benjamin's words which he uttered to his children, being of the age of 120 years. He kissed them, and said, As Isaac was born in the 100th year of Abraham, so was I in the 100th year of Jacob. And because Rachel died at my birth, I sucked her bondwoman Bilhah. For after that Rachel had borne Joseph, she was barren 12 years. And when she had prayed to the Lord in those 12 years, she conceived and bare me. For my father loved Rachel exceedingly, and wished to see 2 sons by her. And therefore I was called Benjamin, that is to say, the son of my days, or the son of my sorrow, because my mother died in the birth of me. When I came first into Egypt, and that my brother Joseph knew me, he said to me, What said they to my father when they had sold me? I answered, They stained thy coat with blood, and bringing it to him said, See if this be thy son's coat or no. And my brother also said unto me, Truly, when the Ishmaelites took me, one of them stripping me out of my coat, gave me a thin shirt to put on, and lashing me with a whip, bade me run. And as he went aside to hide my garment, a lion met him and slew him, and his partners being afraid, sold me to their fellows. You therefore, my children, love the God of heaven, and obey his commandments, following that good and holy man Joseph, and let your mind be set upon goodness, as you know that mine hath been. He that hath a good mind looketh rightly. Above all things fear Jehovah, and love your neighbors. And then, although the spirit of Belial tempt you to all naughtiness to trouble you, yet shall it not get the uppermost hand of you no more than it did of my brother Joseph. How many folk would have killed him, and yet still Jehovah defended him. For he that feareth Jehovah and loveth his neighbor cannot be wounded of the airy spirit Belial. And he that is shielded with the fear of the Lord is safe from harm both of man and beast, and cannot be overcome, because he is helped by the love of Jehovah, which he hath towards his neighbor. For Joseph besought our father Jacob to pray for my brethren to the Lord, that he would not lay unto their charges the mischief that they had devised against him. Whereat Jacob cried out, O son Joseph, thou hast overcome my heart. And therewithal, embracing him, he kissed him 2 hours together, and said, In thee shall the prophecy of heaven be resembled to the full concerning the Lamb of Jehovah, and Saviour of the world, that the unspotted shall be delivered from the wicked doers, and he that is without sin shall die for sinners in the blood of his testament, to the salvation both of the Gentiles and of Israel, and he shall dash Belial and all his servants. My children, look upon the end of that good man, and follow his mercifulness with a good mind, that you also may have a crown of glory upon your heads. A good man hath not a dark eye, for he is merciful and pitiful to all men, yea, though they be sinners, and have devised mischief against him. And he that doth good overcometh evil by the defence of goodness, and loveth the righteous as his own soul. If another man be honoured, he envieth it not. If a man be enriched, it grieveth him not. If a man be strong or valiant, he praiseth him, and believing him also to be chaste, he defendeth him that hath the fear of Jehovah. He worketh together with him that loveth Jehovah. And if a man forsake the Almighty, he warneth him to return again. Whosoever hath the grace of the good spirit, him doth he love as his own life. He pitieth the poor, succoureth the weak, and praiseth and honoureth Jehovah. My children, if ye have a good mind, evil men shall stand in awe of you, and unthrifts shall for very shame be converted to goodness. So that covetous men shall not only depart from their niggardliness, but also give of their abundance to the needy. If ye be good doers, both unclean spirits shall flee from you, and shrewd beasts shall shun for fear of you. For where the regard of good works is in the mind, their darkness flieth away. For if he do wrong to any holy man, he is sorry for it. And if a holy man receive wrong, he pitieth the doer, and putteth it up with silence. And if any man betray a righteous soul, and the righteous pray for his betrayer, the betrayer is not a little disgraced, and the righteous becometh much more notable afterward, as did my brother Joseph. The guileful spirits of Belial hath no power over a good man's mind, for the angel of peace guideth his soul. He looketh not affectionately upon corruptible things, nor raketh together riches in the desires of voluptuousness. He is not delighted with pleasures, he grieveth not his neighbour, he stuffeth not himself with meat, neither wandereth he in the pride of his eyes. For the Lord is his portion. He taketh no glory for giving good counsel. He passeth not how men dishonour him, neither can he skill in any fraud or guile, untruth, strife, or slanderousness. For the Lord dwelleth in him, and enlighteneth his mind, and he rejoiceth before all men in a good time. A good mind hath not two tongues, one to bless with, and another to curse with, one to slander with, and another to honour with, one of sorrow, and another of joy, one of quietness, and another of trouble, one of dissimulation, and another of truth, one of poverty, and another of riches. But it hath one only disposition, pure and uncorrupt towards all. It hath no double sight or double hearing, for in all things that he doeth, speaketh, or seeth, he knoweth that the Lord beholdeth his heart, and therefore he cleanseth his mind, that he may not be found faulty before God and man. But all the works of Belial are double, and utterly void of simplicity. Wherefore, my children, shun the naughtiness of Belial. For at the first he delighteth those that obey him, but in the end he is a sword, and the father of 7 mischiefs. For when the mind hath once conceived by Belial, it bringeth forth, first envy, secondly desperateness, thirdly sorrow, fourthly bondage, fifthly neediness, sixthly troublesomeness, seventhly desolation. And for that cause was Cain tormented with 7 punishments by Jehovah. For in 7 years together Jehovah brought every year a new plague upon Cain. 200 years he suffered, and in the 900th year the earth was made desolate with the flood for his righteous brother Abel's sake. In 700 years is Cain judged, and Lamech in 70 times 7. For they that are like Cain in spitefulness and hatred towards their brethren shall be punished with the same punishment forever as he was. You therefore, my children, eschew malice, envy and hatred towards your brethren, and cleave to goodness and lovingness. He that hath a mind clean in love looketh not upon a woman in way of lechery, not upon, for he hath no defiling in his heart, because the Spirit of the Lord resteth in, probably an error in the press. See Genesis 5 and 7 chapters as follow. Adam lived 130 years, and begat Seth. Seth lived 105 years, and begat Enos. Enos lived 90 years, and begat Canaan. Canaan lived 70 years, and begat Mahalaleel. Mahalaleel lived 65 years, and begat Jared. Jared lived 162 years, and begat Enoch. Enoch lived 65 years, and begat Methuselah. Methuselah lived 187 years, and begat Lamech. Lamech lived 182 years, and begat Noah. Noah was 600 years old when the flood was upon the earth. 1656. Total number of years before the flood, him. For as the sun is not defiled by shining upon a puddle or a dunghill, but doth rather dry up and drive away the stink, even so, A pure mind striveth against the uncleanness of the earth, and overcometh it, but is not defiled itself. And I perceive by the sayings of the righteous Enoch that there shall be evil deeds among you. For you shall defile yourselves with the fornication of Sodom, and perish all, save a few, and multiply inordinate lusts in woman. And the reign of the Lord shall not be among you, for he shall take it away suddenly. Nevertheless, the Lord's temple shall be made in our portion, and it shall be glorious among you. For the Lord himself shall take the kingdom upon him, and the 12 tribes shall be gathered together there, and all nations shall resort thither, until the Most High send his salvation in the visitation of his only begotten. And he shall enter into the first temple, and there the Lord shall suffer wrong, and be despised, and be lifted up unto a piece of timber. And the veil of the temple shall be rent asunder, and the Spirit of the Lord shall come down upon the Gentiles, poured out as fire, and rising up from the grave he shall ascend from earth to heaven. He shall remember how base he hath been upon earth, and how glorious he is in heaven. When Joseph was in Egypt, I longed to see his person and the form of his countenance, and through the prayers of my father Jacob, I saw him awake in the day of his full and perfect shape. Now therefore, my children, know you that I shall die. Wherefore deal every of you truly and rightfully with his neighbor. Work ye justly and faithfully, and keep ye the law and commandment of Jehovah. For that do I teach you instead of all inheritance, and give you the same to your children for an everlasting possession. For so did Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They gave us all these things for an inheritance, saying, Keep the Jehovah's commandments till he reveal his saving health unto all nations. Then shall ye see Enoch, Noah, Sem, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, sitting at his right hand with joyfulness. Then shall we rise also every of us to his own scepter, worshipping the King of heaven, which appeared on earth in the base shape of man. As many as believe in him shall rejoice with him at that time. And all these shall rise again to glory, and the residue unto shame. And the Lord shall first of all judge Israel for the unrighteousness committed against him, because they believed not in Yeshua that came in the flesh to deliver. Then shall he judge all nations, as many as believed not in him when he appeared upon earth. And he shall reprove Israel among the chosen of the Gentiles, as he reproved Esau in the Midianites that seduced his brethren by fornication and idolatry, who were estranged from Jehovah, and fell away from the inheritance of the children, because they feared not Jehovah. But if you walk in holiness before the Lord, ye shall well in hope again in me. And all Israel shall be gathered to the Lord, and I shall no more be called a ravening wolf, for your robberies' sakes, but I shall be called the Lord's workman, which giveth food unto such as do good. And in my seed shall be raised up the beloved of the Lord, whose voice shall be heard upon the earth, and he shall give new knowledge, and enlighten all nations with light of understanding, and shall come up to save Israel. He shall take from them as a wolf, and give to the synagogue of the Gentiles, and continue in the synagogue of the Gentiles, to the world's end. He shall be among their princes as musical melody in the mouths of all men, and his doings and sayings shall be written in whole books. He shall be the Lord's darling forevermore. And as concerning him, my father Jacob taught me, saying, He shall amend the defaults of thy tribe. And when he had ended these sayings, he commanded his children to carry his bones out of Egypt, and to bury them in Hebron by his fathers. So Benjamin died 125-year-old, in a good age, and they put him in a coffin. And in the 411th year before the departure of the Israelites out of Egypt, they and their brethren conveyed their father's bone privily again into the land of Canaan, and buried him in Hebron at the feet of his fathers, and returned again out of the land of Canaan, and dwelt in Egypt till the day of their departure thence altogether. Finis.